All right, what's up, guys? I hope you're doing well. I just kind of want to do a. This is supposed to be a shorter video. Just kind of want to go on to something that's really important, and really kind of shows the fundamental reason why I talk about how we have to really pay attention to the big picture, the whole supply chain from ground to product, especially when it comes to commodities and stuff like that. In this case, phosphates, which are basically they're extremely pivotal when it comes to fertilizers and food generation in general. So I'm going to go right over to the world's largest exporter and a little thing we got of phosphates. Um, right. And one sec. Actually, I need to change the screen share because I have to show multiple tabs on this one. Because it's definitely something we need to pay attention to significantly. I think so. We'll just show, I guess, the whole window. Go from there. Okay, and then we'll go over here. Okay, so basically Morocco is the world's largest exporter in phosphates, and this is the OCP group. It's state owned. Okay, and it has a leading position as the world's first exporter of phosphates, although its market share decreased from 38 percentage points to 34 from January and September 2019. It was few years ago, but still world's largest exporter. But in phosphoric acid, the group remains the biggest world exporter with a 49% global market share. All right, so one, you have a monopoly on phosphates, which is pivotal in ammonia is in there because nitrogen and ammonia are necessary for fertilizer. It's one of those things. If you don't have all the components for fertilizer, you don't have any fertilizer in general. Um, Either way, it's pivotal. But so basically, in 2019, OCP, this Moroccan state-owned group, exported 9 million tons of phosphate rock against 11 million tons in 2018 due to a 6% global drop in exports of phosphate rock, right? Okay, so in fertilizers, the OCP group has maintained its global standing thanks to the flexibility of its products worldwide in a market that is oversupplied while demands in Asia are shrinking. So last year, OCP seized the opportunity to increase its demand in America and Europe to enhance its position in these two markets. While in Africa, the group confirms its standing as a leading fertilizer export, holding 58% of market share. So OCP plays an important role in feeding a growing global population by providing essential elements for soil fertility and plant growth, right? This is supposed to be a short one, but the reason I shared my whole screen is okay. So basically, this group must get ammonia from somewhere to complete the whole fertilizer. So where do they get it? Go over here, and we see that at least half of it um, comes from Russia. As you can see right here where I highlighted it. So the Russian Federation does almost, I guess this is kilograms, so a billion kilograms almost, just under, which is almost half. It's like 40 something percent of the ammonia for this group, right? Or just Morocco in general. So especially with some of the sanctions and stuff going on right now, that could be a major problem for fertilizer production on a global standpoint, which is a problem. It's a big problem. But because especially with fertilizers and stuff, because I think I remember reading somewhere where Russia decided they were going to they like halted all exports of ammonia or like fertilizer components until like May or something. And a good way to think about this is like you don't just get to for you have to look at the industry, right? So like okay, fine, they're only doing it for like a month. But the problem is okay, this is we're talking about growing food. We're not talking about an iPhone or a car where like for example for the cars if you don't have a certain semiconductor or something, you don't have certain like microchips and the car won't run. Okay, you can plug those microchips in later and the car's going to work fine. Okay, it gets to market a month later. No big deal, really, at least comparatively. But the problem, a major problem with this, is that we're talking about fertilizer. And if you don't have fertilizer in time, that means you miss your planting season, or could miss your planting season, or or your season is significantly decreased because I mean, farming and agriculture in general is very season dependent, right? At least in total. There's probably some niche areas that I'm not aware of that the seasonality really doesn't matter, or maybe it's in a greenhouse or whatever argument you want to make. But the vast majority of commercial farming, it depends on the weather. It depends on the season and time of year. That's why, especially like produce, it's very obvious during the winter when the prices go up. At least they do for me here. Um, but that's something you have to keep in mind. And so, whether or not Russia will withhold um, ammonia and importing stuff from Morocco is a big deal, a very big deal in terms of fertilizer. Um, that's just something I found, and I really wanted to point it out because that is not a small thing at all. It's very important to note, and you got to keep it in mind. Anyways, that's it for this one. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll definitely see you on the next one.